Tonight, for the final episode of Ask Jay, we are going to cover how are you going to start a new relationship in 2021. Let's get to it. Look. Good evening. Welcome. I'm Jay from JMC, your relationship coach, here to answer your relationship questions. Thank you for the final episode of JMC for only 2020, Dimension 2020. That's what we hear about. So, yes, thank you for joining us. And, wow, hasn't it been a year? Hey, not a bad year at all. Not a good year for some, but it's a year. It's coming to an end. We're all very happy that it's coming to an end. So let's make the most of it. How's your week been? How's the pressure of Christmas? Dimension 2020. How's it going for you? You struggling? Is it going the way you planned? Are you getting all the presents and everything out of the way, sorted and everything else? Or are you struggling along to get them all ready and set for what you've got planned for the Christmas festive season? If you're watching, thank you for watching. Say hello in the comments if you are. It's yeah. Wow, finally. Well, not finally for me tonight, because we got 2.5 weeks till the end of the year, 3 weeks and 2 weeks until Christmas, and I get to take a bit of a break, and I'm looking forward to it. So, you guys doing anything for Christmas? Are you going anywhere, doing anything? Please put it in the comments. If you are watching on YouTube, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and hit the notification button, just so when you know when Ask Jay comes back in 2021. What we're going to cover tonight is something that we've had a few people ask about. Sorry, we just got a couple of people jumping on one of our Facebook pages where the comments are not coming up. And some reason the system decided to do an update this afternoon, and everything's extremely slow. So I'm clicking on things and everything's slowly happening, but it's all getting there, which is great. So anyway, thank you very much for joining us for this week's final Ask Jay. I've said that a dozen times before. Let's get into it. So, as I said, we're going to start where someone has sent in a question in regards to, let's just get into it. Let's just get straight to the question and ask it. So, there it is from Miss Ready. She's ready, all right. I've been single for the past 18 months and feel I am ready for a new start. Is there anything you can recommend I do to start looking for a new relationship in 2021? Miss Reddy, spot on, girl. Spot on. You're asking the right question. And I like a woman who's actually taking control. She's not just going in there blindfolded, not going in there without having any idea of what to do and just winging it and hoping to get by, because that can be quite frustrating and annoying. And that's going to go away. There we are. So, anyway, yes. So she had has been single for 18 months. She's actually worked with me early this year to work on herself, which is fantastic. She's doing great stuff. I'm quite happy with, and has decided, well, I'm ready and waiting. And she said it to me the other day, and I said, wow. And we discussed it. And I said, do you mind if we use this question for the show? And she went, nope, by all means, go for it. Obviously, I protect people's names by not using the real names, so we just call her Miss Reddy, and she said she's happy with that as well. So, Miss Reddy, let's get started. Tip number 1, get clear on your beliefs and values. What do you mean by that? Should you already have beliefs and values? Yes and no. Now, if you've come out of a relationship, which most people who are looking at starting a new relationship, they've already come out of a previous relationship, unless you're really young and started. And if you're young and you started, well, this is right up your alley. You need to know what beliefs and values are. What do you believe in? What are your core values of what you talk about, want in your life and want in your relationships? Now, when I say that, okay, do you believe all people are bad until proven good? Do you believe all people are good until proven bad? Do you believe, what is it? What are your beliefs? Because you need to be able to make sure that your belief system that you have for yourself, whatever that belief system is, it can be about people, it can be about love, it can be about emotions, it can be about, whatever your belief system is, your belief and values, because the values are part of that, is something you need to be very clear on. You need to really work out, okay, what do I need to do? What do I want? And what are my beliefs? Because what's going to happen is when you go into the relationship, when you meet guys next year and so forth, you're going to go, well, I just need to know, that they match somewhat in what I'm asking for in a relationship. So you need to know what those beliefs and what those values are, and you need to be very clear with them with you, because if you are doing that, next thing you need to be aware of is know your boundaries and stick to them. The second part why I say and stick to them, because that is the biggest thing. People set boundaries. Now, when we had this discussion, she had a friend over at the time, was listening to the conversation, and she said, can I ask, is this a stupid question to ask? What's the difference between beliefs and boundaries? Beliefs and values are what you hold true to yourself, right? So you know what's right and wrong, what you want in the relationship, how it's going to work, and what you want to get out of it, and what you hold dear to yourself. Boundaries are what you are not going to settle for in the relationship. Meaning, one of the biggest boundaries you should have is never be abused, never be hit, never be abused physically or mentally. And you need to make it clear to whoever you are. I know it should be an assumption. You should be able to go, well, you think they're not going to do that sort of stuff. You still need to make it clear. In 2020, 2021, you need to make your boundaries as clear as these wrinkles on the front of my forehead, as clear as these glasses, or the nose holding them up on my face. Why would you say that? Because there are people out there that don't have boundaries. And they're looking for other people who don't have boundaries because they want to be able to take advantage of that. They want to do what they want to do. They want to say what they want to say, and they want to get whatever they can out of the relationship. That's why beliefs, values, and boundaries are crucial, because it shouldn't be what you want to get out of the relationship. You want it to be what you can give to the relationship and what you both can enjoy within the relationship. Because it does take two people to make it work, not one. If one's putting so much into it and the other one isn't, well, then you get a little disheartened. And if you're not quite sure about boundaries, by all means, I've got a PDF ebook there. If you want it, just put ebook in the comments, and I can send you a copy of the ebook, which is what I call the clarity ebook, which gives you clarity about your beliefs, your values, and also tips on what we're going to do in the third tip that's coming up, because you need to get an understanding of who you are. You need to get an understanding of, as I said, your beliefs, your values, but your boundaries. And when I say you need to stick to them, under no circumstances. There are some boundaries you have to, like, that's it. You cross it. And you have to be clear. You have to say straight up front, I have a few boundaries. My boundaries are blah, 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 blah. Or blah, 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 if you have to. You don't have to do it all in the first date, the first couple of dates, 2 or 3 dates. But you want to start getting them clear. If you like the person and you're going to catch up with them again, drop a few more the next, or talk about them in the next. You don't have to say the boundaries. You just go, what do you like after a couple of drinks? Oh, a bit rowdy and whatever else, and I do this. And you're like, okay, you need to be clear. You might say your boundaries are, I don't want smokers. I don't want drinkers. I don't want tradies. I don't want tall people, short people, fat people, thin people, whatever. Everyone, some of those things you might think, well, that's a bit judgmental, but you gotta be clear. You're gonna get to a point in life where you're just gonna go, you know what? I don't have time for any of that crap. So why don't you learn this early? If you're going into next year and you've had a rough year this year and you're like, rightio, I'm ready for a new relationship next year, the year after, whenever. These are the things you need to keep in mind, because if you keep these in mind, and you get these clear and across to your potential partner, it's going to make things so much easier. You're going to save so much time, and oh man, seriously, it's worth doing it. So tip number 3 is know what you want in your relationship and in your partner. When I say this, don't be afraid to say, this is what I want out of the relationship. This is what I'm going to bring to the relationship, but I wanted a 2-way street. Again, these sound like you've got to sit down and set a rule, set out some rules and tell them, if you want to do that, that's fine. But you really need to get that message across somehow, and as clear as possible, and as soon as possible early in the relationship. What do you want from the relationship? And what do you bring to the relationship is the other thing. Because it shouldn't be all take. You want to be able to bring this to relation. I'm a fun person, or, I'm a caring person. Ask them what their love language is. A lot of people don't know. And if you need to explain it, just say, well, do you like talking? Do you like physical? Do you like physical touch? Do you like quality time? Don't be afraid to ask these things. These are things it is good to ask and get out of the way early, because if you do it early, by all means, you make it, the relationship down the track a hell of a lot easier and a hell of a lot less hassles. That's what I'm trying to say, I guess. Good evening, Nick. How are you, buddy? I see you're over on my personal page. Thank you for joining us. Whoop, it disappeared. What happened there? What's going on? Facebook is being weird and comments are coming and going. So if I'm not saying your comments up on the screen, don't worry. If you're on my personal page, I won't see the comments on the screen, but I'll have them over on the right-hand side. Everything is running really slow because I found something, decided to update all my Dropbox, and I need to clear it all out again. So anyway, yes. And when I say then, and in your partner, do not be afraid to know what you want from your partner, what you want in a partner. If you want someone who's tall, go for it. People say, oh, I don't want to be too picky. You know what? You get to a point in life when you go, you know what? Yeah, I want to be picky. But it doesn't have to be picky. you're selective. There are billions of people on this planet. What are they saying? 8 billion people. So, you'd think at least 3 to 4 billion are the opposite sex, right? Just give or take, And you don't have time to go through those 4 billion. You don't have time to go for 4 million or 40,000 or 4,000. You might go through 40, 400, depending on what your life has held over the years. But at the same time, you get to a point where you go, you know what, I'm done with this. I know what I want. This is what I want. And don't be afraid. Don't settle for it. If you meet someone and they're 70% there, give them a chance. If they're like 50 or less, no. Because you know what? Those little things that you might go, well, am I being too selective or being too picky? What's going to happen is down the track, it's going to drive you crazy. You're going to go, oh, I knew this was going to be an issue. Some of the biggest things people have said to me and clients, and as a lot of you know, a lot of my clients are mostly females, but the guys I work with as well, they say that some of the list that I've got here is they want for girls looking for guys, or even guys will say this about women. They want someone who works, has a job, earns a decent living. Some say, I don't want drinkers. I don't want smokers. Some say I want them to be a certain height. I want to have them of a certain ethnic background. Some will say that they want someone who's got a great smile or great teeth. They look after themselves. Someone who doesn't smell. What else have we got? We've got quite a few here. Now, a lot of people would go, oh, gee, you've been a bit picky, a bit selective. I'm not saying they want all these, but these are just some of the things people I've worked with have said. Is that a bad thing? And I'm like, no. But there are also times where you might go, well, I don't want anyone older than me and I don't want anyone of a certain hair color. Say, I don't want a redhead, or I don't want a short-haired person. I want them with long hair, or I don't want blondes or whatever else. Don't entirely block that out, because one day you might come across someone when you're not looking, and they might straight away go, oh, they're blonde, or they got long hair, or they got short hair, or they're taller than I wanted or shorter than longer. And you might think, oh, straight away. But then you might also get a lot of questions. You might get along with this person so well and go, you know what? Why did I say I didn't want someone who had short hair? Or why did I say I didn't want someone older or shorter or taller? You got to question it. If you say it was because my ex was like that, maybe. But then you've got to ask, are all people who are in that category you say that you don't like, are they all like that? So if you say, oh, I don't want anyone older than me, but then you think, well, I got a couple of good friends that are older than me and they're really good. And if they were single and I was single, yeah, that would have worked out really well. But, they're mature, they're great, they got this, they got that and everything else. It's fantastic. But at the end of the day, you can't entirely block them out. But if you've 2 or 3 times you've gone out with tall guys and it's just all girls and you've just gone, I can't do this, then stick to it. Don't be afraid to, say, that's what I want. Good evening, Kenneth. How are you? Act in haste, repent in leisure. A new relationship is not like a movie. Take your time. Allow time to open your eyes to the right partner. Buddy, I think we got Nick over on my personal page, which for some reason the comments aren't coming up from my personal page. He says, hey, Jay, find out all the information you can about the other person before taking the next step. Very true, buddy. Very true. Mind you, though, you don't have to know everything about them. But yeah, you'd like to know a lot of things. But those big things that a lot of people have said, I've got a list here. I didn't see down the page where some of my clients have said, I don't want someone who plays game consoles. I don't want them to play games. Now, they're not saying I'm your mother and I'm not going to let you do that. When I asked these people what it was, they said their last 3 partners, all they did, when they were home, play games, and they could never get anything like that. So if that's the case, by all means, I don't want any game players. I mean, console game players like PlayStation, Xbox, Twitch, or whatever they call it. They don't want people that do that. They want someone who's wanting to go out, wants to have a bit of fun, enjoy themselves, do the right thing, and, build on the relationship. Some people have said to me, I don't want long distance relationships. And I go, okay. And if you've had them before? No, just I don't really want them. What if you came across and you met someone, you might have been on holidays, and they actually turned out really well, just fantastic. And you sort of think, well, okay, this person's awesome. Damn, it's a shame they live so far away. But what if they were like, well, I'm open to see what happens. I could move, the job I do, I can get anywhere. I can move around and stuff like that. You're going to block them out? Yeah, it'll be hard. But do you want to spend and give a chance to someone who could be right for you? Or do you want to try a whole heap of wrong ones for you and waste your time and then get disgruntled at the end and just go, you know what? I'm not happy. I don't like this. I don't enjoy this anymore. It's ridiculous. So when you're eliminating what you do and don't want, just be clear and think about what are crucial things, what are the things that you really want and really don't want. And then there's also some maybes. You know what I mean? Kirsty, good evening and thank you for joining us. Things like prospective partners having issues with drugs, alcohol, and gambling, etc., are big ones. And these are hard ones to pick up because people aren't always upfront about these. You're spot on, girl. And when it comes to that, all I can say is that you just have to say it up front. You just have to say, you know what? This is what I've had. I'm not dwelling on the past, but if you're on a date with them and that, you just go, do you drink much? Are you a drinker? Are you a smoker? Or do you do any weed or anything like that? If it's guys, most guys will go, like a few beers or whatever else, If they don't, but what you got to say is just go, well, yeah, I'm not a big drinker. I don't mind if my partner drinks, but I'm not a huge party person. And just keep an eye out for it, because if they say they're doing all the time, don't be afraid to question it and just say, look, from my experience, I've had a couple of partners that have, struggled with alcohol. I got a client in Boston and she has been with her partner and is going through all sorts of things. He's been going through rehab for the last couple of years because it's been a really big struggle. And she didn't realize he had that issue, but it came out and it took it out on him and took it out on her as well. And he didn't like it. And it was tough. It really was. So, but she's sticking by him and doing that. But there's others that have been through it. You know what I'm talking about, with when it comes to people that are just, they just can't handle it. It could be, one of the ones, oh, that's right. If they've had conversation, one of the lists I've got here is someone said, have they cheated before? It's just been in conversation. They said, have you cheated? Oh, no. Have you been cheated on? Yeah, a few times. Okay. Well, you know what it's like. One of my theories, I've always said, if you're going to cheat on me, call me before you're about to do it, and we end it right there. And to be honest, I've actually had someone do that many, many years ago. So, yeah. Kenny, Jay, you're sounding biographical about the long-distance partner. I don't know what you're talking about there, bud. I have no idea what you're talking about. But anyway, we'll leave that one alone. And hey, Kirsty, how are you? Thank you for jumping in and watching. I really appreciate it. We got Sandy Jarina, Sandy J in Melbourne. How are you? Thanks for jumping on. I know I can't put you coming up because you're on my personal page, but thank you for joining us. So good to see you here. And as Nick as well. Nick's always jumping in and watching us. So always love you coming on, Nikki. So thank you very much for jumping across. But yeah, it's if you're going into the new year, you've got, and that's what you're going to go about, by all means, that's what you're really going to go for. But so for the latecomers, because a few of you have just jumped on quickly, the question was from Miss Reddy. I've been single for the past 18 months and feel I'm ready for a new start. Is there anything you can recommend I do to start looking for a new relationship in 2021? So that was her question. Just quickly go over the 3 tips, as I said before, a review. Tip 1 was get clear on your beliefs and values. What do you hold close to you? What are your true values and beliefs? Do a list of them. Write them down, stick them on there. As I said, if you want, I've got a clarity workbook that you can have for free. If you're watching, by all means, just say yes, please, to the book, and I will send you a link to the book that you can have. And all it is, it's just a clarity workbook where it gets you to what you likes and dislikes, and what you want, and so forth like that. And it's an easy thing to do, but it's always good to have and to play through that. Tip number 2, know your boundaries. Now, Kirsty, you were saying before, if it's drugs and alcohol, if your boundaries are right, I don't want any drinkers anymore. Or if they have like the occasional drink, but that's it. But I don't want, I do not date smokers. Don't like smokers. It's no offense to the smokers, but I've had too many issues with it. Don't want a smoker. I want someone who looks after themselves and their presentation. They don't have to be slim or anything, but they're not like slapping around and stuff like that sort of thing. So you've got that. Hey, Dawn, sorry, my personal page is really delayed because the computer's really slow at the moment, and I've just seen a whole heap of messages come up. Dawn, thank you so very much for joining us. Welcome. Yes, please, on the workbook. Okay, no worries. We'll get that to you. Sandy, yes, please, as well. Excellent. Okay, well, I'll put a link in there and get it over to you as soon as I can. So thanks, girls, for jumping on and putting your hand up for that as well. God, it's so slow. This is what happens when you run everything off a computer and all of a sudden it starts to update your Dropbox to your computer. That's what I found just before I started. So sorry about that, guys. And tip number 3, as I was saying before, know what you want in the relationship. So if you've been through some rough times and you want to get clear on what you want and so forth, go through your clarity workbook, or go through your beliefs and values, go through your boundaries, write your boundaries. And even then with your boundaries, if you write a whole list of them and you go, write a 0 to 10 on which is your strongest ones and which is not. Because then if you go, well, that's a boundary, but I'm giving that a 4, then you're like, well, it just depends on the person that, I might give that a little less. It's there. If I can get him with that or her with that, great. But if I don't, I'm not stressed. But if they're 6s, 7s, and 10s for the strengths of your boundaries and beliefs and values, stick to them. So, but you need to know what they are. And if you're going into a relationship, if you're so clear on what you want, the universe will send it to you. It's like if you're looking for a car, you want to buy a car, and you're like, well, I've seen this red car I like, this red Subaru. And you're like, yeah, I really like it. I've narrowed it down. As soon as you buy it, you see red Subarus everywhere. They're here, they're everywhere. You find that neighbor's got one, 2 doors down. Like, how did I not see that? That's the reason why getting clear on what you want with your relationships is crucial, because once you've sat down and worked it out, you don't have to share it with anyone. It's your own little exercise, especially coming up to the end of the new year, end of the old year and starting a new one. You want to get clear about that? By all means, definitely just, put it in there and write it down, get it clear, and know what you want, because then you'll know what you want in your partner. And then when you meet them, you could say, you don't have to talk all about you and needs and wants and that, but over, a couple of dates with them, don't be afraid to say it. Because I tell you now, you're going to save a lot of time then starting to start a relationship 3 months down. Oh, he's a smoker and I didn't realize he smokes, or she smokes, and I should have said something. No. Well, you can still say something there and go, look, I'm not a big smoker. I don't know if this is going to work. Don't be afraid to say that. So by all means, get it in there. Kenny, why sleep together the first night when there is a strong possibility you'll want a refund on your potential new partner? Oh, Kenny, jeez. Look at you, buddy. Unbelievable you are. Thank you very much. You're a cracker. Exactly, but look, it is crucial that we get ourselves right. This year hasn't been a good year for a lot of people. If you see my emails right now, I have got over 60 emails in the last 3 days from people that are reaching out and want a relationship counselor and coach to work with, sort of thing. So I've got a lot of calls to make between now and the end of the week, and these are all, and I've already started calling them, but it's crazy. And these are all people that are just really struggling with what they want and getting clarity. And some of them are already saying, I don't know if I really want this anymore. Maybe I should start a new relationship and start a new year. If you are starting a new relationship in the new year, but you're still in one right now, give yourself a little bit of time. Give yourself a break. Don't jump from one relationship to the next. You really need a little bit of time just to get clear on yourself and what you want and how you want things and so forth. But the Clarity Workbook, if you're interested in that, say yes, please, in the workbook in the comments, and I'll go through afterwards and I'll send you a copy of the Clarity Workbook. I've also, if you are going to start on new dates, I've also got 5 hassle-free first dates ebook, which is just 5 little tips I suggest when you're going on a date. If you're starting to date again and you want to go out, you're like, well, what do I wear? When should I go? Times, little things like that. They're more like safety tips than anything, especially if you're dating online, because, we don't want you to, you don't want to set the bar too high and then he rocks up in track pants or she rocks up in, I don't know, whatever. So, but it's exactly that. So all of you, thank you very much for all of you putting your comments into Dawn, Sandy J, Nick, Kenny, Kirsty, and what have we got? Oh, that's right. What was I going to do? It was something else I was going to cover. Where have I got that? I'll think of it at the moment. But while I got you guys, I just want to let you know this is the last episode for 2020. I will be back in 2021. Should be first, second week of January. But if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification button so you'll get notified when we're back on. Same with Simplified Relationships, the Sunday show. There may be a couple of time changes. I may be moving that one to a morning on the Sunday, so you might be waking up with me on a Sunday morning next year, but we're still looking for it. The other thing I will say also, each and every one of you, you've got relationship questions, no matter how stupid or silly or ridiculous you think they are, they're not. Please send them in, email them in. As you can see, I don't mention names. I give them cute little titles like Miss Ready, looking, and whatever else. You could use your own little anonymous if you want to put it at the end of the email, and we will put them up there, because there are so many people that I'm getting calls and messages from and emails from saying that they saw the video and was just like, thought, well, I'm the only one. I didn't think anyone else thought that way. Everyone thinks that way. So by all means, and getting into the new year with Simplified Relationships, the Sunday show, I'm looking for people to interview. So if you've had struggles over the years in relationships, or you've learned some things about relationships you'd like to share with the rest of the world, please get in contact me, DM me, and what I'll do is we'll catch up and have a chat online in the next couple of weeks over the Christmas New Year, and I'll start to work out times and dates and when we're going to have you on. And by all means, I'll be interviewing you. Well, it won't be a formal interview. I'm going to be running it from the couch, the Sunday night show. So we'll be able to talk and discuss relationships in a casual way, just like you're sitting there having a chat with me right now. And what you'll find is that will inspire and help so many others that have gone through what you may have gone through in the past. Because there are so many people that say, you know, that I work with, and they just go, oh, no one else would be going through this. And I'm like, you have no idea how many people are going through this or have had this happen to them in the past or whatever else. It's incredible. It really is. So by all means, don't be afraid to reach out. If there's something, and if there's something I can do to help you, again, reach out. Yes, I do these shows, but I am a relationship coach and I do work with people and help them, and with quite great success as well. Because if I can't help you, I won't take you on. I'm not going to waste your time and waste your money if I don't think I can help you. So by all means, if you're umming and ahhing about working with us or having a chat, by all means, send us an email. We'll get, where's the email details? Oh, there it is. It's at the bottom of the screen. Ask Jay. You can send me an email at jay@jaysonmair.com, jaysonmair.com, or reach out to me at DM me at the socials. We've also got, where are we? There we go. Find me on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. Subscribe and hit on the YouTube and hit the bell if you want the latest tips and relationships as well. You can also find me at jaysonmair.com. God, could we not make that any bigger? I think we need to. And I would normally put this one up, but no. We will be back after Christmas. Now, I am going to finish up on a little. Usually finish off on a final word. I didn't get a chance to type this up tonight because it was a last minute thing. So I'm going to read it straight from the book right now, and because it's the lighting here is a little different. Tonight's little quote or mindful moments is from the one and only Yoda. Be more like Yoda. All right. And it's called Live in the Present. And this is dedicated to the love of my life who says this to me each and every day. Treasure the here and now, regardless of whether you are swimming towards stunning underwater cities or grabbing the tongue of a floppy-eared fool. Think back to when you were purely engaged in the now. Perhaps the time you were mentoring a pod racing prodigy or rescuing a queen. You probably relied on your gut feelings on those occasions. Overthinking situations can make you lose sight of the present and feel like an observer of your own life. So remember, live in the present. Concentrate on the moment. Exactly. Thank you very much. That is the final say for, why am I not turning that off? Final say for 2020. We got any other comments? I don't know if this is going to work or not because Facebook has been very slow. My whole system's been slow. But I want to say thank you to each and every one of you that have tuned in for 2020. It wasn't something that I planned to do at the start of the year. As I said in the Sunday night show, I was part of a video challenge in August, and it kickstarted me and gave me a bit of a kick in the butt to actually get back out there and help people, because I was doing it myself, helping people, but I wanted to get the word back out there and help a lot of people, and that's what we seem to be doing. So I'm where Kenny's always here. He's always we've gone from Kenny to Kenneth. It must be your last night. Last night for 2020, my friend. Last night for 2020. Good evening, Claudia. Love the quote, Jay. Thank you. Thank you so very much for joining in too. Loving your videos. If anyone looks up this lady's name, Claudia Hess, in Germany, speaks English, very good English, and she's got some really good relationship and communication videos she's putting up at the moment. So look her up on Facebook and try and check out some of her videos, because she's fantastic, especially with communication styles. She's had a lot of experience, and it's good to have. You can never get enough information when it comes to communication, right? You're right there. Oh, look, Kenny, come on now. Come on. Do I have to come up there to Sydney and give you a big hug, buddy? I think you're needing a big hug anyway. You've had a rough year, but it's been good. But as I was saying before, yeah, I put these videos, I put these shows together so I can help each and every one of you out there. I appreciate you all jumping on, your comments, your interactions, and so forth. There may be a little bit of fine tuning going over the new year, over the festive season for starting the new year, but it'll be pretty much the same. Ask Jay will be back next year around the first or second week, or first or second Wednesday we're looking at, because we're doing a marketing thing this afternoon with my offsider, and we were looking at first or second week of January. I should be back, depending on a couple of things that are happening. But if you would like to send a question in, or you want to discuss or share a story of love or heartache or lessons you've learned about relationships, please DM me, because I'd like to have you on the show, on the Sunday show. It has been a Sunday night. We are looking at moving it to maybe a Sunday morning, because it works well for the people in the US and also in Europe and so forth, sort of things. So we may be able to do that as well. So, but I'd like to say thank you to each and every one of you for tuning in. Oh, Claudia, no, you're a darling girl. You remarkable at the stuff you do, and you've jumped on a few times late this year when I've been on, and I appreciate your support. So thank you very much. But to all those that have jumped on, the regulars that are here, you know, Kenny, Sandy J, Sandy S, Kirsty, Nick, Harley. There's so many of you. I could not do this show, and I would not continue to do this show if many of you were actually jumping on and having a say and sharing some knowledge with me, because even some of your comments that are going up there, you know, they mean a lot. Sunday morning, you will be awake from the night before. Yeah, I'm going to have to start to behave myself. I think I might have to go out to Friday night instead of a Saturday night. So, or they're going to be really a little rough on a Sunday morning. But just saying, if it means helping people, not just here, but around the world with their relationships, I'm willing to do for it. And I'm getting too old for the big nights. Haven't you noticed the last couple of weeks I'm sticking to the water, because I'm trying to I got to get a lot healthier. So, but thank you to each and every one that has watched, supported, comment, emailed, called me after the show, called me before the show. Your support helping setting up. A special thank you to the man of the hour that's on the screen right now, Kenny. He was one of the people that I'd met through the Leader Challenge in August, and it has been a massive, huge, and I'm not talking about size, I'm talking about support, buddy. I know what you're thinking. He's been a huge support on helping getting these shows up and running. We've had technical difficulties with devices and programs and everything else, and he's been a great support to me. To all the others, Sandy in Kansas, love you, girl, very much. You know how much you have supported me. Rosie D here in Melbourne has been fantastic. Another great supporter and good close friend as well. But I just, you know, when I decided to do this, it was more just, you know, I'd get people asking me questions about what works and what doesn't, and, you know, what's my opinion on this and what's my opinion on that. And look, I've never always been you know, it's not about what I think. I can offer advice, but it's not about what I think. It's about what you think and what is right with you. You need to, as we said tonight, you need to know, as we said, I'm not going to go over this, but as tip one said, know your beliefs and values. You know your boundaries. Now, the reason why is because you need to know you. Once you know who you are, once you get to a point in life where you go, you know what? I'm not playing games anymore. I don't want games. I don't want complications. You know, I've done the work I need to do on me. I'm willing to trial that out with people, you know, and really make it work. And sometimes it's a hard thing. You know, when we go to school, we never do classes. We do classes on maths, science, English, history, graphics, you know, geometry, all sorts of stuff. But we never do classes on communication. We never do classes on relationships. We never do classes on, making a marriage work. We never do classes on how to raise children. And we never do classes on finances. These are the crucial things we need to know. We need to learn. So that's why I do what I do. If I can offer advice or something that's going to help you or someone sort out their relationship, save their relationship, or save the relationship they have with themselves, and I only do that for one person in a show, my job is done. Everyone else that I'm able to help is an added bonus. And that's the way it should be. If we learn something, we have something in us to offer to show other people that, that can help them, by all means. So I've rabbited on enough. I want to say thank you. I am going to give, there's so many good comments tonight, so many good comments, and some are on the other page too, so I can't. But only because one person I wanted to give it to, he's already had it. So instead, the comment of the day goes to there she is, Miss Kirsty. Where is it? Oh, hang on, let me get rid of that. Nope, that didn't work. Miss Kirsty, you get the comment of the day award. Things like prospective partners having issues with drugs and alcohol and gambling, etc., are big ones. And these are hard ones to pick up because people aren't always upfront about these. I wanted to choose that because that is a lesson for every person that is in a relationship or coming out of a relationship or looking at starting a new relationship. That, my friend, is a warning, is a sign, is a lesson for all of us to learn that is just one example of things that can happen if we aren't clear on our beliefs and values, aren't strong on our boundaries, and we do not communicate that to the potential partner. As I said, one final plug. If you want the clarity workbook that I've got that helps you get clear about them, your beliefs and values and what you want and don't want in a partner, please say, yes, I want the workbook in the comments, and I will send you a link or a copy to that. Not tonight, probably in the morning, because, got a few things to finish off tonight. Thank you again to each and every one of you. What do you got? One more. Kenny, Raising Teenagers class. Where do I sign up? Exactly. And I think a lot of you have got young kids and know what that's like. So you're all probably going, yeah, we know what that's like, Kenny. Exactly. So thank you again to each and every one of you. Please stay safe. Take care of your loved ones, but take care of yourselves, because at the end of the day, no one can look after you better than yourself. Even the people who think they know you better, they don't always know they probably know you from years ago, but don't know who you are now. So please take care of yourselves. Until then, thank you very much. Have a safe, wonderful, joyful, fun Christmas. For those who are in lockdown, please stay safe. And if you need to reach out and chat, message me. I'll give you a call online, or we can just message back and forth. Don't be alone. I know there's a lot of countries that are going to lockdown over the festive season, so be careful. The ones like here that are not, stay safe on the road, guys. Love you all. Thank you very much. Here's the new outro. See you all in 2021. Thanks, guys. Love you all. Bye. Mwah.